Pokey Mokey.
Well, welcome everyone. It is Dawn with Shall We Stamp, and I'm a few minutes early. I have checked everything to make sure we are good to go with the sales format, and I think we are. So if you're there, please let me know that you're watching and list your name. Since we're in a group, I can't see who's responding. And first time watching, oh, thank you. And what is your name? When we're in a group, apparently Facebook does not allow us to, I can't see your names. So if you don't mind, if you just put your name and where you're from, that would be awesome. And welcome. I hope you enjoy it. We always have crazy fun here because you never know what's going to happen. So I always say it's the comedy hour with me. So last week, not last week, but the week before, I went live, and apparently Facebook sometimes thinks the videos are in a sales format. So I kept wondering, why is nobody commenting on my video and talking to me? And come to find out, it was in a sales mode, if you will, and nobody could find me. So it was very frustrating. Hi, Fran. How are you doing? Welcome. So, anyways, we are I'm a little bit early. Thank goodness everybody is here and finding me. It looks like so. We're getting comments coming in. So, welcome. So we'll give it a few more minutes. It's 3 minutes till, and we'll start a few minutes after 7. So I'll just sit here and chit chat and kill time. So, okay, so. Last week, obviously I got caught up in the airplane issues at the airport. That was a whole nightmare in itself. Hi, Karen Jo from Bradenton. How are you? But I'm glad that we're finally home. The dog stayed an extra day at the dog sitter, which she was happy. She didn't care. She had 4 of the dogs she was playing with, so she really could care less if we got home or not. So, anyways. Back and trying to get, I can't wait, back and trying to get back in somewhat normal. And then we leave again next Sunday to go 2 weeks in the RV in our motorhome. Chuck has got us scheduled all over, I'll tell you. We're going to somewhere near Hilton Head to an RV resort. And we're going to be there till the end of October. So I've got classes already prepared. And we'll just see how it goes. It's, it is what it is. So welcome, everyone. For those that are new joining, I'm Dawn Duvall with Stampin' Up. I'm an independent demonstrator, and I live in the Villages, Florida, where it is, I don't know, I guess it's in the 80s today, maybe the high 80s. I haven't checked it's not too bad outside. It's better than being in the 90s. So, and I've been a demonstrator for 10 years. Not that says a whole lot, but that's what I've been doing. And I have a community of demonstrators that are all along the East Coast up through Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, of course, Florida. I'm trying to think where else. I think that's probably about it. But anyways, welcome everyone. So we'll get started here in a few minutes. We're going to do some Christmas cards tonight. And it's a little early. I know we probably should still be doing like fall and Thanksgiving cards, but I thought, why not? Let's use the stamp set that carried over from last year. So that's what we're going to do. So anyways, what else is going on? Let's see. I think that's about it. We are in a new Stampin' Up year, so I'm making some changes, and I'm working through those changes. Our year, the business year, fiscal year for Stampin' Up starts October 1st and runs through September of the following year. So I always go through and look at what's working, what's not working, what things I can do differently. So if there's anything that y'all would like to see, or you would like to see differently, or something, whatever, you let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. Any input would be helpful. And I was just finishing up my numbers from last month and getting all that fun stuff done. So anyways, we'll give it a few more minutes, It is 7 o'clock, so let's wait. I know there's a few stragglers that tend to straggle on, and of course, 2 weeks ago when I was playing to myself, I was just having a good time by myself, wondering why nobody was commenting. I kept thinking, why is nobody commenting? Why is nobody commenting? Thank you to Facebook, but what can you say? So anyways, it is what it is. We had such a fun time in the airport in Charlotte. I tell you what, we had to fly American Airlines from Newport News, Virginia. We normally fly Delta, but it's a small airport and American's the only major one. So when we were leaving there last Friday, our plane was having mechanical issues, so it was running late. We decided to go ahead and fly into Charlotte, and we figured, if worst comes to worst, we'll just take another flight. Well, did we know all of the cancellations that were happening thanks to the weather in Orlando? They couldn't fly out. Well, we got there. We were waiting for the airline, to pull up the step thingy, how it comes out to hook up. Our plane was sitting right next to doors over, if you will. And by the time we got off the plane, they had already shut the doors and were backing out. We missed them by about 5 minutes. So needless to say, we got caught up in that whole fiasco. And then flights were getting canceled one after the other because of the rain and the thunderstorms and stuff in Orlando. We got booked, delayed, and then canceled. And then booked, rebooked, delayed, and that was canceled. And after the third time, we said, enough is enough. And this was probably about 8:30 at night. We stood in the line. Of course, I'm trying to be light and jovial because everybody's being mean and ugly, right? Because it's not going for them. And so then they said they comped us a hotel room because we had mechanical issues. And then they looked at the flight and the lady says, everything is sold out. I can't get you a flight till Sunday. I said, what the hell? So we get to the hotel and I told my husband, I said, I'm going to find a rental car. We're going to drive back. So none in the airport, but if we went 8 miles outside of the airport, they had rental cars. I guess Orlando desperately needs rental cars. We could rent a car one way with insurance and taxes and all that was $130. So we rented that. And then in the meantime, I'm trying to kill time, just to let y'all know. We're going to start in just a minute. And so in the meantime, I called baggage claim because we had checked his luggage. I brought a carry-on because I knew we were only going to be there like 3 or 4 days. So I could get by with that, surprisingly. And so I finally get a hold of somebody in baggage. He told me our luggage was put on a plane and it was going to be in Orlando about 11 o'clock Friday night, which was fine. He goes, well, and I told him this, the big old saga. He goes, why aren't you on the flight tomorrow morning? There's 6 seats open. And I said, what? And so I said, well, book us. So he booked us on that. We canceled the rental car, got to the airport the next morning. Oh my goodness, it was a nightmare, but thank God we got out of there on time. So, and we got home 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We should have been home Friday, but that's okay. So anyways, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started at 7:03. I'm glad that you all are able to find me this evening. That's wonderful. I'm very apologetic for 2 weeks ago. I do apologize for that. I'm going to flip the camera down and we're going to go ahead and get started and have some fun tonight. We're going to make some holiday cards and we're going to use let me flip down. We are going to use the Snowflake Wishes. Now this carried over from last year. Hang on one second. My camera, hold on a second. Let me see if I can tilt this. Nope, it's going to mess me up. Okay. This carried over from last year. So this is the Snowflake Wishes. It's a photopolymer stamp set and it has 17. I love this stamp set. And then we do have the dies. They did carry over as well. So these are in the book on the annual catalog on page 91. And there are, let me see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did count. There's 8 dies. So these are the dies. And if y'all probably see a lot of these on Pinterest and everything. And then this is the stamp set that we're going to use for both the cards this evening. So it's on page 91 of the catalog. Now, if you don't have a catalog and you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, just message me and I'll be more than happy to send you one in the mail. Not a problem at all. I'm trying to get situated. Okay, so this is the stamp. I'm sorry, that's Merry Christmas. That's not, Lord have mercy. That is not the one. I'm thinking, what am I doing with that one? See? Is it Lisa, who is the new one from Madison? Well, here we go. You're getting right in on the ground floor of the goofiness. Let me find the right page. I flipped Snowflake Wishes. Oh, page 90. I had it flipped to the wrong page. There we go. Ta-da! there's our stamp set. And then the dies are also in the back of the book. Now, one of the things when we're making the cards, and let me pull in the first card that we're going to make. I'm using also, which I try not to do, I'm using the retired Snowflake Winter Snow stamp embossing folder that it's now retired. I don't have the one that's the new one, but we do have one in the catalog that you can substitute if you don't have a Snowflake one. And just to let you know, that is the Wintry 3D. This is one of the smaller ones that will go through our mini die cutting machine. So there is the snowflakes right there, if you can see that. And this is page 155 of the annual catalog. So you can purchase one of those, and that's $10 for the two small folders. So that's not too bad. So you can get an embossing folder that is wintry, but I did use the one from last year, which is retired, so just to keep that in mind. All right, so what we're going to make this evening, and this is like a pocket card, and I've done it sideways instead of vertical. I'm doing it horizontal. But you know, you can also use this, and you can place a gift card in here as well. So this could kind of be a two-in-one card if you like. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and I've got everything is already pre-cut so we don't spend all night here. And this one is made using the Misty Moonlight cardstock, and we're using the polished pink cardstock, and then the oh shoot ski, I don't have my book here. The this fun paper that's got the packages on it, and it's got some really bright, pretty colors. And this is the snowflakes that I die cut out, and then we're going to use some of the in color jewels. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me pull in now the card that we're going to do tonight. I'm going to make it in the polished pink. Okay. Now what I did was this is 5.5 by 8.5. Now what I did was I took the embossing folder. This is your normal, I say normal, this is the normal size embossing folder. And what I did was I just lined it up in the center of the card and ran it through the embossing machine like that. Okay, so I could get it in the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to score at 2 inches on both sides. So let me bring in my paper, our cardstock, and let me go ahead and score that. So we're going to score it at 2 inches. And then this will be used to fold it in half and give us room that we can glue it together. All right, so we're going to do 2 inches there, and I'm just going to flip it around, and we'll do it 2 inches on the other side. Whoops, right here. We'll just do 2 inches. Hang on, let me do it this way. The right side only goes out to 1.5, so, or 1 3/4. So we're going to line this up at 2 inches. And we're going to score that, which goes right to the edge of where the embossing folder laid anyways. All right, so there's what we've done. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold our creases. So give me just a minute. I'm going to bring in my paper just in case I need it. All right, so we're going to fold our inside piece, and we're going to use our bone folder and make a nice burnish. And then we're going to fold this side over as well. Whoops, I think I lied. Did I do 2 inches? I did, didn't I? Hang on a minute. Here we go again. I think it should have been 2. Hold on. 5.5 by 8.5, 2 1/4. Yeah, I don't want it at 2 1/4 because that's going to put me at, well, hang on. Did I cut my paper wrong? See, I told you I haven't done this in 2 weeks. All right, let's see what we're at. We should be at 5.5, right? All right, hang on, guys. We might have to add. We'll just get a little fancy, and we'll make this. Because see, this is not scored right. So this is, all right, so we are at 5.5, and this should be, yep, we're at 8.5. Okay, that's my mistake. We do want to score this at, so sorry, we're going to bring this back in, and they're not going to see the back. So we're going to, my apologies. We want to score this at, not 2 inches, but we want to do 2 1/4. That's my mistake. So we're going to do this at 2 1/4. That's going to allow it to fold over and give us room, not much room, to adhere it. And if it doesn't, then we'll just cheat and do a little extra piece like I did on the other one. because it didn't quite come all the way together. So let's do this at 2 1/4, and we're going to put that down there, and we're going to, I'm pushing really hard on this because it's got the embossing. All right, there we go. And you're not going to really see that back part. No one's going to look at it, really. Okay, let's see if I think that should work. That was my mistake. So you're going to score it at 2 1/4. All right, so we're going to fold this one over. I'm going to get it forward, and it's a little bit, when you have it embossed, it usually makes it a little bit tougher. But you just follow the line, and I usually use my fingernails to help push it in and get my fold going. So we're going to fold that right there, and then it's got a little bit of the. There we go. So that will allow it to fold over, so that we have. Hang on a second. Let me make sure I've got this folded right. So we don't want our. There we go. Okay, so we've got this at 2 1/4 on each side, and then that will allow us to fold this in, and then we're going to use some tear and tape when we get on that, okay? So we actually probably could have done this at 2 1/8 and not 2 1/4. Actually, that one's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, so let's see. All right, so this is going to be the front of our card, but we're going to add some tape, but I do want to make sure that my inside piece is going to fit, and it should fit in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to put I'm going to put tear and tape right here to get the bottom closed. That way we don't have to worry about our card falling through. So let's go ahead and add some tear and tape. And I'm going to put that right here at the bottom. And I'm just going to pull it right over to the edge, and then I'll just tear that off. Hence why it's called tear and tape, right? All right. So we're going to just add the tear and tape at the bottom so we can get that adhered. And then we're going to add, as soon as I get this tape off, the backing off. We will then add some adhesive to fold our flaps in. And then we can start decorating everything. Give me just a second here. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so we're going to fold this one down and get that right even. And then this one we're going to fold. Actually, I'm going to fold it back just a little bit. Now I'm going to put some adhesive right here. I'm going to use my seal just so that we know it's going to hold. So I'm just going to put a little strip of the seal right on the edge. Right there. And then we're going to fold that over and push that down. Let me make sure we get it straight. Okay. Whoops, hang on. Hang on a second. All right, fold that over. There we go. All right. Okay. So now it's sealed at the bottom so it won't open, and our card will go in like that. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a hole punch, and let me see if I brought my, hang on a minute, let me go get my, forgot the hole puncher, hang on a second, I got to get my 1 1/4, 1 1/2 I think, nope, all right, we're going to do 1 1/4. Now you can use your layering circle dies. I'm using the retired punch. So I'm just going to punch in just so that we have an area that we can pull out. And I'm just going to do about halfway in. And I'm just going to punch that out. It's going to be a little bit. There we go. That way they know they've got to pull to get their card out. And that's the way we can slide our card inside there. Okay? So far, so good. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring in all of our pieces, and I'll tell you what the sizes are here in just a moment. All right, so I cut out 2 of the snowflakes using the snowflake dies. I did 1 white and then 1 pink. Okay, we're going to use a piece of the Misty Moonlight, and this is scored at 3 3/4 by 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to have a piece of white that's going to go on that, and that's going to be 3 5/8, 3 1/2. I've got it like at 3 5/8. So that'd be 3 5/8 by 4. What is it? 4 3/4. Yeah, 4 7/8. Okay, give an eighth or so. So that's what we're going to work with for the inside. Then this piece here is hang on, I'm looking at my notes to tell you what side it. Let's see, designer series paper. This should be. Why don't I just measure to make it a lot easier for you guys? This is 3 1/2 by 1 inch, and that's going to go on the bottom of the card. Here, I'm going to decorate that on the inside of the card. Okay, and then this piece of designer series paper is 2 inches by 4 1/4. Okay, that's going to lay right on here, and it might be a little bit long, so I'll just trim it. So I'll probably place it up and then I'll just snip it off with my snips. Okay, so we'll just trim that down once we get ready to do that. And then we've got 2 more pieces here, Misty Moonlight, and this again is 1 1/2 by 3 1/2 inches, actually 3 3/4. And then this is going to be a 1/4 inch down. So this is, what do we say? 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, and this is going to be in the front of the card with our sentiment. Okay, so it's going to look just like this. All right, so the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead. I'm going to pull in the paper trimmer because we do need to trim up our paper. So I think I folded the card a little bit shorter on the width than what it should have been. So let me just measure this, and we're just going to cut this down. Just and you can. This is 3 7/8. Okay, so 3 7/8. So we're just going to cut this down to 3 7/8. So let's see, which way do I want to cut it from? Let's cut it from this way. 3 7/8. So we're just going to go right up here, and I'm going to leave a little bit hanging over just to be on this. Let me do it this way. I'm going to leave a little bit so that way if I need to trim it, I can trim it up. Okay, so we're just going to cut that piece off and just put that in the trash. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to attach this to the front of the card. Okay, so it's going to go just like that. And again, since it's embossed, I'm going to use my seal, my Stampin' Seal. And then, of course, you want to use your silicone mat because that keeps everything from sticking all over your desk. So we're going to go ahead and, don't you just love the back side of that? Isn't that pretty? So we're going to go ahead and add this to the front of our card. And I'm going to put some seal on here. All right, so we're going to do that. Make sure we get our packages going the right directions, right? Because our bows could look like they're hanging upside down. So we want to make sure we got it right. And I just eyeball it. You can put it in the center. So I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure we got it close enough, right? So let's put it right on the edge. Hang on, let's see. We're going to line it up right about there. Welcome, everyone. And we'll just lay that right down there. So we've got that on there. And then the next thing we're going to do is we'll do our sentiment, but I'm going to hold off on that for just a minute because I want to, and you know what, I'm going to change the, no, I think we'll do the pink. All right, you know, I think I might change the ink. I've got the polished pink. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to use blue on the inside. Don't ask me why I am. Okay, now, we're having, on this one, I've got this with some ribbon, right? So I used our retired hole puncher. So I'm going to punch that through, and then we'll tie our ribbon. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one first and then line up the other. I tried it yesterday or the day before when I made this. And when I did both of the holes, it was a little bit too much for my hands to push through. I guess that's a sign of old age. I don't know. So I know I've got to get it a little bit closer. So I'm just going to pop a hole in here, and we're just going to make it work. And then I'll just line this up with the other one when we get ready to do the blue one. And then this will be my little template. So hopefully I get my holes even, and we'll just take a stab at it and hope that it is. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. All right, so I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to go ahead and hold my white down before I glue it. And I'm going to punch my holes one more time. And then this way I can actually see where to line my holes up so I get them done correctly. All right, so there's one. And then we'll get the other one. Yeah, I think I am going to do the blue ink. I think I'm going to do the Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to get up and get that in just a minute. Actually, here we go again. Back in a flash. I'm going to get my Misty Moonlight ink. I got to have my coordinating ink. Otherwise, it's going to be too pinky. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to pull our ribbon in. And I'm just going to tie it in a bow. So let me just figure out how much I want to pull in here. It's not going to take a lot. But let's just cut enough to make sure we've got it. Right? So I'm just going to pull this through. Let me go ahead and tack this down. So we'll go ahead. Whoopsie. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add my favorite liquid glue, which is Tombow. And we're going to go ahead and get that on here and attach this, and then we'll have our everything lined up, and then we should be good to go. And we'll tie our ribbon. All right, I think that looks straight. Okay, and once we tie our bow, no one's really going to see that, right? So let's go ahead and just feed our ribbon through. This is such an easy card to make, and you can use it as a gift card too. So, and you know, it can be for birthdays, it could be for an anniversary, you know, it really could be for anything you want it to be, right? So how fun is that? Get a gift card and a card all in one. We should do a gift bag, because I think I've showed y'all the gift bag that you can make the coordinating card that matches. I don't know if we did that or not. I don't remember. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tie our bow. And let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, and I'm just going to make my loops a little bit bigger, and then I'll just come back and tighten them down, and then we'll trim everything up as we need to. If I can get my fingers in there. I had my nails done. Where is my tweezers? I know they're here somewhere. Oh, there they are. I organized my this desk over here, and then of course you get organized, you can't find anything, right? Okay, so that helped me pull it through. All right, so we're going to tighten that up, and let's go ahead and adjust the ribbon, get our bows so they're not too overwhelmingly big. So it'll take me just a minute to play with it and get it all fluffed up and pretty. So, all right, we'll tighten that up. I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and trim these guys down. Let me look at this one more time. I think that's a little too big. Let's pull it down a little bit more. Just hold the knot in the center, and then you can tighten it. Sometimes I pull it a little bit smaller on the loops, so that way when you tighten it up, it pulls them down. So let's go ahead and trim these up, and I'm going to make these rather short. So we'll go ahead and get my snips in there and cut that. Whoops. Cut that off. All right, I think the bows, I'm gonna pull these down. I think they're a little bit too big. What do y'all think? Too big? Too small? I think they're a little bit too big. And we'll tighten them up again. All right, that's gonna have to work. This one's a little too big. Now this little guy doesn't want to cooperate, does he? Come on, get back down here. All right, there we go. So there's that. I'm gonna trim this little guy one more time. He's a little bit too long. Let's do this side. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got that, and then I like to decorate the inside. So I'm just gonna put this little piece right here. It's got the green with a little bit of pink, and I don't have it going edge to edge. I'm gonna bring it down to the bottom, but I will, and I'll zoom in just a little bit. I'm just gonna leave a little bit of white showing on both sides. So let's go ahead and add that, and I know we're covering up this pretty little the package here of paper. It's such a really pretty Christmas paper, isn't it? So we're going to put that right here and just lay that down and let it sit there for a second and dry. All right, and then we're going to take our sentiment, Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas, and we're going to stamp that right in the center. And then I'm going to pull out, let's do that first. I'm going to do it in the Misty Moonlight. Hopefully we don't make a boo-boo because everything's all glued down. And I always say, stamp first before you adhere. And I did not listen to my own words, did I? But that's all right. It's going to work. So we're going to place that right about there. And I'm just going to push down. Let it sit for a second or two. All right. Perfecto. Okay, we're going to close that up. All right, so the inside of our card is done. So now we want to finish our front. And let me bring in, we're going to do our sentiment. And this one, we're going to use the sentiment that may your season sparkle. And this is very deceiving because it looks small. Look how big this is. This is a pretty good size. Can you see that? Pretty good size stamp. So let me take off my Snowflake Wishes. And we're going to take that out and put this one on. And let me do it at an angle. So can you see that? That's how big it is. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to stamp this in blue. And I know there's no blue in the front, but this is going to go on the inside, so it will coordinate. Now, we could have done the pink, but yeah. You know what? Look at that, because there we go. It's going to be a little tight, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp this. Should we stamp it in pink? What do y'all think? Should I do pink or should I do the blue? See, I'm going to have the blue here on top. Oh, well, let's go with the blue. That's how I designed it, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so let's add some Misty Moonlight, and we're going to put that on this piece right here. And did I give, yeah, I think I gave you the dimensions. This piece, just to let you know, is 3.5 by 1 3/8. Okay, so we're gonna stamp that on here, and I'm gonna move it a little bit to the left, to the right, because I'm gonna put my snowflakes on the left hand side right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that sit for a second and make sure my ink transfers. All right, and it did. Okay, close this up. All right, we're going to attach this. And we will come back and place that right on here. And we should have a nice border on this. So we're going to put that right about there. Hopefully that's straight. I have to use my, I got my nails cut, and I always have them cut them short, and then I can't pick anything up. Okay. So there's that. Now we're going to add our 2 snowflakes. So I am going to add, and I'm not going to pop this up because I figure that with that being embossed, we're just going to lay this flat right here. So I'm going to take my Tombow or multi-purpose glue, and I'm just going to add a few little dots around the snowflake. I don't know, what do you call the snowflake, whatever they're called. And I'm going to put a little bit here in the center because it's going to attach, and that's way too much. Let me take a little dab of that off. I'll put that over here. All right, and we're going to put this snowflake on top, and I'm just going to lay him right there in the center, and I'm going to try to, I'm going to turn it, or do I want to leave it? I think I'll leave it like that with the pink on the top of the white. All right, and we're going to fold that, move that over just a little bit. Okay, now, all right, so that's good. So let's go ahead, and then we're going to add our snowflake, and let me make sure that's down there. And we're going to put, and again, I think I'm going to pop this. Did I pop that one? Yeah, this one I'm going to pop up on a dimensional, just because we just need to have at least one dimensional. So we'll put that right there. Hopefully that doesn't show. Maybe I should have put yeah, let's put a baby one. Hang on a minute. Let me take those off. We're going to use a mini dimensional because you can see right through that little guy. Hang on one second. Get him off of there. Oops, there we go. All right, so let's get a mini, a little tiny one. Hang on a second. I got them over here somewhere. Here we go. We'll just use a little mini. That should be all we need to hold him in place. All right, so we're going to place that right towards the bottom of this. All right, so we got that. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the front of the card. I want to go ahead and decorate the rest of this, and then we'll be done with our card, and we'll put our insert on into the inside. All right, so let's lay this here. All right, and then we're going to bring in some of our jewels. And I'm going to take one of the, let's do one of the bluish colored ones, the larger one here. And these are the in color jewels. I'm going to place one right here on the center of the snowflake. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. I got glue on my fingers. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put this little lavender one right there. And I'm going to put a little pink one. And we'll put one right over here. And then we'll do a third one. And let's do one of these small, this one here. We'll put that one right in there. How's that? All right, so there's that. And then we will put this in here. Our card will go inside. And there is our card / gift card. Now, what do you think about that? Isn't that cute? And that can go back in. And this fits in a regular size envelope. Now, you do want to put, I usually take like a little note card and I'll cover it so that when it goes through the mail, actually I use our demonstrator things or pumpkin things, and I lay that on top so it covers it up, so when it goes through the postage thing, they don't charge you extra postage. So that is our card, and then here's the one that I made using the different color. So that's our first card. What do you think about that? Isn't that cute? Really easy to make. Okay, so then our next one is, are y'all still with me? All right, so let's go and let's move this out of the way. Let's get all the pink stuff out of the way, and we're going to come back with, bear with me, and get the next card, and I'll show you which that one is. All right. Okay. All right, so here is the card that we're going to be making. Let me move this out of the way. I thought this was a really pretty card. This is on thick whisper white. It's cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And we're using the silver foil paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we've cut another piece of the silver foil at 2 1/2 by 4 1/2, which is this piece right here. And then the white is your basic white. I ran that through the same embossing folder just to let you know. And that one is cut at, hang on, let me look at my notes. 4 1/4 by 2 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. Hang on. Yeah. And then the sentiment is out of Whisper White as well. And the sentiment is 3 1/4, 3/4 by 3 1/4 this way. And then the silver foil underneath is 1 inch by 3 1/2 inches. Okay. And I cut out the snowflakes. I'm going to show you what I did, how we can use up our paper. And then I just left the inside open for stamping later and doing my comments. Okay. So that's what we're going to make for the next one. And I stamped this in gray granite because I thought that was close enough to get it, to kind of give it a neutral effect. But isn't that a pretty card? What do y'all think? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, what I did in advance is why did I bring this out here? I brought ribbon out for a reason. I'm not sure why I did that. Oh, well. Okay, so let me pull out. Now, when you're using your larger pieces of cardstock or foil, you know, we can cut on the inside of that because it's going to be covered up, right? So I went ahead and cut all of my pieces that I needed for my snowflakes out of, let me get my pieces together. This is for our sentiment. And then this is the piece. Now look at that. So I use these two pieces that we're going to hide because these are going to be covered up, right? See, look at that. So that way you can get more use out of your paper. So You're not wasting, because, you know, if we cover this whole thing up, we've got all this space in here that we could use. So that's what we did. So let me back out the camera a little bit. All right, hang on one second. Let me adjust so I can see what's going on. Okay, so, and then I cut out just several of the snowflakes. So I cut 3 of these smaller ones, this size, and then this size here, which you probably can't see because it's on my board. Here, let's put it here so you can see it. All right, so I cut these out. Now, some of these, and I'll show you what I did, I just laid them on the paper because I was looking at a card that I had made last year. And if you remember, we had the paper that had the blues and the hues of blue and the light, like the freesia colors. And it had, one of them had a silver backing with stars in it or snowflakes in it. So I tried to mimic that by creating what I did this way. All right, so this is thick whisper white, basic white, still saying thick. And we're gonna score this at 4 1/4. So let's bring in our, and I like to score, you know, I usually fold all mine, but on the thick whisper white, we're gonna score this at 5 1/2. On the thicker white or vanilla, I always want to score it using my score tool only because it's a little thicker, so I want to make sure I get a good crease in there. And then I can fold it, okay? So we'll move this out of the way and we'll get started. And this is a really easy card. It's just a little time consuming when you're cutting out all of your pieces. So this would not be a card that you'd probably want to mass produce, but it would be one that you can make a couple of cards. But if you're going to mass produce it, I think it's going to be a lot of cutting involved. All right, so there's our card base. So we're going to leave that right there for the moment. Now, this is the one that I'm going to take, and this is what I did. Now, this one here is going to go on the front of that right there, okay? And this is going to go on here. So these we can go ahead and attach. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So let me add, I'm going to use, let's use our seal. Again, because it's been embossed and it's on foil, so just to make sure that nothing falls off, we want to make sure it's got a nice, good adhesive to hold it together. And then see, we're going to line this up right around to have the edges showing. And make sure I get it straight because sitting down makes it a little bit more difficult. And this stuff doesn't give. All right, so that's going to be that one. And then we're going to add this to the front of that, and we'll do that in just a few minutes, okay? So now, well, let's go ahead and do it now. I'm just going to add my Tombow. We're going to use that. Actually, you probably could do little glue dots if you wanted, which might not be a bad case, but we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to make little dots with my adhesive, with my liquid, and just make sure we've got some going around. And then I'm going to put some on all of these outside leaves, or snowflake, I don't know what you call them, like a little arm thing. And then right here in that little center part right there, there's enough room that I can place the tip and put another little dot right there. And I'll put one right in the center, okay? And then we'll go ahead and attach this, and I'll just pick that up, whoopsie, with my tweezers. My tweezers have obviously got glue on them. So we're going to lay that right, we're going to lay it right about there because we're going to add our sentiment to this as well. So let's just push that down, okay? And if it doesn't all stick, it's okay. It's a snowflake. It can stick up. All right, so we're going to set that off to the side. Now, this is what I did on the foil. I tried to create the look of having snowflakes on the card. So what I did was I just took the smaller ones and I kind of laid them down, and we're going to adhere these. So I tried to lay them, and if they hang over a little bit, it's okay because we've got it on the white. So I'm trying to put these like one in the corner here, one there, and then this one I'm going to cut in half, and this one I'm going to cut in half. They're going to go underneath this center part here, and you won't see any difference. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to adhere this one, and this one I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombow. Now, one of the things you can do is you can get like a sponge dauber, or one of our, I don't think we sell the sponges anymore, but use a sponge dauber. Hang on a minute. Let me get the some of this glue off of here. You can take a sponge dauber, put a little of your liquid glue on here, and then you can dab it, And then you can just kind of dab the glue on here without having to worry about, you know, making a mess. So that's just another tip that you can do as well. All right, so I'm just going to put some little dots on this guy, and we're going to lay him over here, and I'm going to put him up in the corner, and I might have it lay off just a little bit. It's going to be okay because it's on the white, so let me lay that there. And then I'm going to hold this down long enough so I can get my fingers off of it. I've got glue on my fingers, so I'm going to hold off from trying to pick it up. And I'm going to come back and wipe this off. And I usually use these little tweezers because it's easier to get in the smaller place. So let me hold these down. It just takes a minute or so for it to go ahead and grab. Since you're using it on foil paper, it's a little bit, you know, it's kind of slick and shiny. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to put these in the outside corners, bottom right, top right and bottom, or top left and bottom right. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach this down here and leave it like about like that. All right, and we'll let that try to dry a little bit right there. Okay, now we're going to take this one, and I'm going to cut this one in half, and it really doesn't matter. I've got glue on my fingers. Hang on. I'm just going to cut it right up the center here, because what I want to do, and some of it's going to come off, which is okay. It's going to be hidden underneath the card. So the plan is we're going to lay that right there. It helps if you don't have glue on your fingers, right? And we're going to lay this one right here, and then we get ready to attach it. It's going to go underneath that card, so you're not going to see all these little pieces. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy. I'm going to cut this one in half, but I'm going to cut it right down the center, so I've got my snowflakes on both sides. And then this is going to go, actually these are going to go in the corners of the card. These big ones are going to go right here. So let me just show you what we're going to do. We're going to put that one there, and they're going to get, obviously they're going to get moved once we get them situated where we want them. Okay, so we're going to put that one right there. And then the idea is, see, hang on, I got glue on my fingers. Then we're going to take this piece, and we're going to position these, and they're going to lay right like that, but we're going to slide those out so they're attached. Does that make sense? We're just going to move these out so it looks like it's a full snowflake, but it really isn't. So we're just kind of using all of our materials and getting the best juice out of them, right? And then we're going to lay that like that, okay? So that's where they're going to go. Now these are going to be popped up on dimensional, so let me go ahead and do that because that will give us room. That will give us the ability to slide our snowflakes underneath. So give me a second. We're going to put one up towards the center here. And then we'll go ahead and glue those guys down. And I have an idea of where they should go. But so I'll just lay that like that and get an idea. And then this little guy will go there. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to play with these. First ones I'm going to do is do the side pieces. Let me get this little guy back over there. All right, so I know that my card is going to cover that. So I think the way they're laying right there is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and place this one. I'm just going to add some adhesive to the top little snowflake things. All right, so what do y'all think about these cards? Any comments? All right, so we're going to lay this one over here. We'll place that one right about there because I know that should give us enough room. And lay that down. Hang on a second. Get that to hold and get that straight. So we put that down. That's going to cover that. That's going to good. This one I'll put down last. And then this one we'll do the same thing. So let's put some adhesive on this one. And you could use the glue dots, which that might be a better effect. And then you don't have to worry about glue getting smushed all around. All right, so we're going to put this one, and we're going to put him right about here as well. And they don't have to be in the exact, as far as being even. They're snowflakes, so they're going to be a little bit different. But I just wanted to have them look like, and that's going to be hidden. So we're going to take that, and that's going to go just like that. This one can come out just a little bit more. Okay, so we'll put that one there and that one there. And then we'll put these down in the corners. So let's do that. Actually, let me grab a glue dot and let's just see. Let's roll this little guy up and we'll put him on the back of the snowflake. Oh no, he's stuck to the back of my dimensional. No, 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 don't tear. Hang on. There we go, we got him. He jumped over on my dimensional. I'm going to put a little glue dot right on the back of that. So we're going to put him right about here. And I'm not going to squish it down just yet because I want to make sure so I can pull him. Oops. So that's going to be good. I'm going to pull this back just a little bit because he's going to be in the corner. So I think that'll be good like that. Yep. And then let's do the same thing for this one. That really does make a big difference using the glue dots. So there you go. Glue dots it is. All right, so we're going to push that one on here. And we'll go ahead and attach this one up towards the corner here. And push him down. And let's see, that should work. And then we're going to attach this. And then it looks like we've got snowflakes. So let's go ahead and these will also hold down. So let's peel the backings off. And this should help hold down the snowflakes as well. Okay, and then we're going to attach this. Bear with me, because I want to make sure we get this straight. This guy needs to go up just a little bit. All right, so we're going to put that. See, he can come out a little bit more because we can move him back some. All right, and then we're going to place this right about there. All right, and then we're going to attach that to the front of our card. And then all we have to do is add our sentiment, and we'll be good to go. So we're going to attach that like this. And a little bit of the snowflakes hanging over. I think it will be fine, or you can trim it off either way. These are good. They're hanging right on the edge. And if you want your snowflakes to lay a little flatter, we can add another glue dot right there. That's not a problem. But it kind of gives it the effect of the paper's made with snowflakes. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to stamp our sentiment. So let me come over here and I'm going to use my gray granite. All right, and we're going to come in with our Snowflake Wishes. So we're going to use this one on the front of the card. And we're going to stamp it right on this piece of basic white. Let me make sure I got some ink on it. It's hard to see when it's the gray granite, right? So we're going to push that right there. There we go. And close that up. All right, and then we're going to attach that to our piece of silver. And we're going to go ahead and do that with our adhesive. And then this is just going to get attached. I'm going to attach the foil using our seal because it's going to be attached to that piece that's been embossed. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll put that right there. And it's a pretty card. All right, let's see, we got that straight? I think so. All right, and then we're gonna just flip this over and place some adhesive on the back. Get this little guy started. What a difference. The seal, I like the seal, but sometimes it doesn't wanna cooperate like it should. And then this, we're just gonna lay this down towards the bottom so it kind of takes up the space right here. And again, I just eyeball it so it's kind of centered and it's hanging over. And you want to make sure not to put any adhesive on both of these ends, and just in case it gets flattened. And there you go. There's our card. All right. So those are the two cards, and it's $7.49. So let me pull in the one that we made. Okay. So here's our pink card. Here is our other Snowflake Wishes card. Let me move this out of the way. And I'll bring y'all back in. I hope you enjoyed that. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a comment for me. Let me know what you thought about the cards. And I'll keep you posted. I'll see you next Tuesday night, coming to you from Hilton Head, South Carolina. And we'll be making some new cards next week. All right. Thanks, everyone. If I can help you with anything, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing y'all soon. Okie doke. Bye now.